in Subramania. And it is also not Subramaniam or Manian. A lot of you people write that, put an M or an N at the end. It is Subramania, and it's not Bharti, it's Bharati. Bharati. So please don't make a mistake in writing the name. Now, I have read other poems by Subramania Bharati, and he wrote around India's independence, and he generally tries to instill, he discusses a lot about the mentality of people at that time. So he is trying to instill a feeling of patriotism in people. But in the other poems that I have read, he is telling people to make themselves stronger, and because if you make yourself stronger, then your enemies will also respect you. And in other poem, he talks about how there's always a problem that he addresses, okay, so that India can finally gain independence. Now, let's read this larger than present day India. So here he is singing the praises of the land of Bharat. Now, when you write a poem or a song in praise of something or somebody, what is that called? There's a name for it. It's an ode. ODE. So this is an ode to Bharat. I won't say India, because India and Bharat concepts are not absolutely identical. When he is talking about Bharat, obviously you have to understand that the concept of Bharat was much larger than present day India. So here he is singing the praises of the land of Bharat. Himavant obviously refers to the Himalayas, and you have a picture of Himalayas in your book that shows the snow-covered peak of the mighty mountain ranges. The mighty Himavant is ours. There is no equal anywhere on earth. So there is no half-hearted attempt here. This is a full-fledged praise of the Himalayas, because I mean, you belonging to this land will probably say that there is no equivalent, no equal of the Himalayas anywhere, but others might beg to differ. Not everybody is talking about how tall the mountain is, how high the mountain is, okay? They might find out other aspects that are beautiful. So everybody will feel their own thing is beautiful, but that is not how you write an ode. When you write an ode, you become romantic, that is, you romanticize that thing, you exaggerate its beauty. The generous Ganga is ours. Which other river can match her grace? Now, the Ganga there are two words that have been used to describe the Ganga. Again, check it out. He doesn't use the word Ganges. He uses the word Ganga. He uses the word Himavan. Now, generous. He describes the Ganga as generous. Why would he describe the Ganga as generous, as giving? Because if you take a look at the map of India, especially based on population, let's take this one because it's all nice and green. You take this map, and obviously, if you look over here, okay, now if you look over here, the darker the shade of green get, the more the population. So over here you have this portion which is the darkest green, and this is the portion that is drained by the Yamuna and the Ganga. So the Yamuna will come somewhere from here a little bit to the north, and the Ganga will come from Uttarakhand, and then it will go and it will meet Brahmaputra, and it meets Brahmaputra in Bangladesh actually. So this entire region is very fertile because the Ganga and the Yamuna, they bring fertile soil and deposit them on the bank every monsoon. And this soil ensures that anything that you want to plant grows. Any crop that you want to grow, you can. This is one of the most fertile belts on the entire on surface of the earth. So if we are getting everything we want from here, and if you compare this to other places like West Asia, you get nothing. Okay, You go to Europe, you get next to nothing. And here, people don't even need to, have a job. Nobody dies of hunger over here. If they, look for food, they're sure. And this is the reason why he calls the Ganga generous, because the Ganga has given us all of this. The entire country, more or less, runs on this particular belt, which is why it is so densely populated. Now, going back, so I'll get rid of the map now. Going back, the generous Ganga is ours. Which other river can match her grace? So when you talk about grace, you're talking beauty. And beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Us being citizens of the land of Bharat, we find beauty in the Ganga, and we find its flow graceful. And that is why you also need to notice that there is alliteration over here. Generous Ganga, and then a little later grace. This is alliteration. Alliteration does not mean that it has to be absolutely side by side, the words. They have to be nearby. When he says which other river can match, he's basically saying that Ganga is the best. When he says there is no equal anywhere on earth, he's actually saying the Himalayas are the best. The sacred Upanishads are ours. What scriptures else to name with them? So the sacred Upanishads are the wealth of knowledge that we have stored in our books that have originated in this land. So to name some of them would be the four Vedas: Rig Veda, Atharv Veda, Yajur Veda, and Sam Veda. We have the Upanishads, we have the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So there are a number of books that we can dive into and gain knowledge. The Upanishads are sacred. When you talk about the Vedas generally talk about how to perform rituals, which god, which mantra, and what kind of yagna and all of that. But when you're talking Upanishads, they are talking philosophy. They are talking higher thoughts. They are trying to analyze the knowledge of the Vedas, trying to find out the deeper meaning in everything. So the Upanishads carry a wealth of knowledge. And he says, what scriptures else to name with them? Which basically translates to, what are the scriptures that we might say runs parallel to the Upanishad. So he's basically calling the Upanishads peerless. Okay. No other scriptures come close. This sunny golden land is ours. Okay. Now this particular line, this sunny golden land is ours. It is true that Bharat Varsh is in the tropic. The sun is bright and it gives us food and energy and makes the land golden when it falls on the land. But this is the superficial layer. You have to look deeper inside. Sunny golden land means something more. It means treasures, yes, treasures under the soil, treasures above it in the form of crops. It means wealth, okay, because when you have all that is necessary for you to lead a good life, then you are economically well off and you have bounty in front of you. So you feel that this is the best possible place to stay. It could also mean knowledge. Bharat has a wealth of knowledge. As we have seen, he's mentioned already the Upanishad. So knowledge is golden. Gold has often been used to symbolize knowledge. Okay. So this sunny golden land is ours has a lot of levels. She is peerless. Let's praise her. Shows you alliteration. Peerless meaning without parallel. And then obviously because this is an ode to Bharat Varsh, he says, let praise her. Gallant warriors have lived here. Gallant warriors, courageous warriors, brave warriors have lived here in the past and they live here in the present. So in the past, we have those warriors that protected the land from others. And now we have our soldiers who stand on the borders protecting the land. Many a sage has sanctified this land. When you think of a sage, what comes to mind? What kind of qualities are you looking in? Sages imply wisdom, sacrifice, detachment, spiritual purity, also control over emotions and desires. Okay. So all of this is represented by sages. And from our history, we learn of so many sages who have lived here. They have made this land divine, sanctified this land, means made the land holy, made the land divine. The divinest music has been heard here. So even when you are talking about, we have talked of the physical features of Bharat, we have talked of the wealth of knowledge of Bharat, we have talked of the quality of the people living on this land. Now we are talking about culture, we are talking about the music of this land. And the music that came from this land, which is now Indian classical music with all its branches. It is often said, I mean, Tansen, who used to sing in Akbar's court, it was said about him that when he sang the Rag Malhar, it used to rain. So obviously, we are taking the song to the level of divine. We are taking the music to the level of divine. And so he says that the best, the divinest, the holiest music has been heard here. Has been heard here is alliteration. It's not amazing alliteration, but it is still alliteration. And here, all auspicious things are found. Would it mean holy, favorable, promising, fortunate, okay, good, something that is good for you? Brahma knowledge has taken root. What is Brahma knowledge? The ultimate knowledge. And what is that ultimate knowledge? That is the knowledge. If you get that ultimate knowledge, you become enlightened. So Brahma knowledge is enlightenment. And Bharatvarsh is a place that has seen enlightened people over the years. Now, normally when we talk about enlightenment, we are always thinking of the Buddha. And by the Buddha, I mean Gautama Buddha. But that is not true, because there have been a number of Buddhas. Okay, as far as Buddhism is concerned, there have been a number of Buddhas, and there have been, if you talk about Jainism, there have been a number of Tirthankaras, and whichever way you look at it, there have been, all the sages were enlightened. So we are a land of enlightened people. These people have guided the less privileged, that is the common man, who have not become enlightened, but who follow the words of wisdom of these enlightened. So such Brahma knowledge has taken root here. And the Buddha preached. And why does he say why does he use the word has taken root? Because wisdom and knowledge is something with, if someone in a particular place gets it, people around them by association automatically get part of that knowledge. So once you have an enlightened being in a particular place, you will see other enlightened beings emerge from there. So he uses the words has taken root. And the Buddha preached his Dhamma here. Now here there's a little bit of a thing which you will not write in your answers, but definitely when I think of the Buddha, I don't really immediately think of the Dhamma. Just wanted to check up on the Dhamma. What is Dhamma? Has some connection to Buddhism. The teachings of the Buddha, the core doctrines such as the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, which map out the way to liberation. It represents the way things actually are, such as the principles of cause and effect, impermanence, non-self. Okay. So Ashoka's Dhamma is a different Dhamma. No wonder he is written, Buddha preached his Dhamma. Of hoary antiquity is Bharat. So Bharat is antiquity, means ancient. So Bharat is ancient, and not just ancient, but the most wonderful kind of ancient. She is peerless, let's praise her. This line has been repeated, so this is a refrain. Lines that are repeated like this are called refrain. All right. Any questions from this particular poem?
On particular topics, let us know in the comments section below.